Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll call tonight's meeting to order. It is Monday, December 22nd, 2025 at 6:01 p.m. We are the Select Board and Board of Public Works for this evening. We're meeting in the lower level of the Rutland Public Library. We are on Zoom. We're being live streamed and recorded for future YouTube posting. And before we get into everything, if we could stand for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I should add, we are a 5-member board this evening. We have member Seckman that will be joining on Zoom for the entirety of the meeting, and we have member Whiteman, who is on her way in but on Zoom, so she'll be here shortly. We have approval of treasury warrant and payroll. I went through, I didn't see anything crazy. Okay. So if there's no questions or discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve treasury warrant 26-13 and 26-PW13.
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion, questions? All right, roll call. Alex?
Vote aye.
Harry?
Seckman, aye.
Leah?
Whiteman, aye.
Mattson, aye.
And Ledger, aye. Thank you. All right, we have a couple sets of meeting minutes. We can go through these as they're listed. There's first a request from Seth regarding the September 15th, 2025 minutes. And this is just an edit to add an additional note in the meeting minutes just to reflect that for the discussion regarding dispatch use of the Wood Studio for their administrative office space, that they would be covering the utilities while they were occupying the space for that. So we're just looking to add that item into the meeting minutes. Any questions on that? Concerns? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to amend the September 15th, 2025 meeting minutes as presented from what was previously approved on September 29th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
None.
All right, roll call. Alex?
Vote aye.
Harry?
Seckman, aye.
Leah?
Whiteman, aye.
Mattson, aye.
And Ledger, aye. Thank you. We have November 24th, which is a set of executive session meeting minutes that were held from our last meeting. These are just regarding the town administrator contract negotiations. We just held these. The contract has been signed and posted. So if there's no questions or concerns, I'll entertain a motion to approve and release the November 24th, 2025 executive session minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions, discussion?
Seckman, none.
All right, roll call. Alex?
Vote aye.
Harry?
Seckman, aye.
Whiteman, aye.
Mattson, aye.
Ledger, aye. All right, and we have a couple of meeting minutes all for December 8th. We have the regular meeting minutes as well as 2 sets of executive session minutes. One regarding the side letter to the firefighter collective bargaining agreement, which was discussed at our last meeting, and we have a letter to sign for today. And then there's the second piece, which was finalizing the town administrator contract, again, signed, posted. So if the board is comfortable, since we'll be signing the letter this evening for the firefighters side letter, we can approve these as a slate with releasing of the executive session minutes.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any concerns, discussion?
Seckman, none.
All right, roll call. Alex?
Vote aye.
Whiteman, aye.
Seckman, aye. Mattson, aye.
And Ledger, aye. Thank you. All right, those are all set. So we will move into the evening's public hearings. Tamika, nothing I need to read for these, just to clear. Okay. And just, these are all individual hearings for each street that we will be doing. So we'll open and close for each one. We're gonna start with Arrowhead Way. It is 6:06. I will declare the public hearing open. Just a couple of items, just all comments need to go through the chair so you can be recognized. Anybody that's on Zoom that would like to comment, if you could please use the raise hand feature to be recognized. And participant comments are gonna be limited to 3 minutes apiece per hearing. Okay.
We've opened our meeting already.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So I will open the hearing at 6:06 for the street acceptance request for Arrowhead Way. Is there anybody that would like to speak regarding Arrowhead Way? Name and address, please.
My name's Caitlin Barshesky, 11 Arrowhead Way. So I have been to, I feel like almost every meeting with the planning board since July and the conservation committee. So I have a lot of background on the street in and of itself. So my property did have a lot of washout back in that storm in May. I've been in contact with Clea about the entire time for the whole thing. My property has been fixed. All of my complaints with the road have been addressed by both Clea, the planning board, and the conservation committee and remedied. I don't have any concerns about the road being accepted, especially being that my property was affected. I do hope that carries a lot of weight behind it. If I had any concerns about it, me and Clea would definitely still be talking about it. And him and I are in agreement with what has been done to fix it.
Thank you.
I just want to make a comment that at the last public hearing, there were, we had discussion and I basically said the roads are ready to be accepted by the town and put on the warrant and so on and so forth. And then you close the hearing and had a lot of discussion amongst yourself. That discussion or if there's any questions like that, I ask that you please do that before you close the hearing. This time, instead of keeping it to yourself. Because there's planning board members here, I'm here, everybody can answer those questions if you have them.
I agree. This is the opportunity for questions. That's
Right.
once the
Especially
questions
the
have been
boards.
asked.
Yeah.
Yes, but once the questions have been asked, that's the hearing gets closed.
That's fine,
deliberation
yeah.
for the board. So that was all the opportunity from last time as well.
Just tell me what those streets do. It would be really nice to get a favorable recommendation from the select board and move these forward.
Is there anybody else for public comment on Arrowhead Way?
I just have one final comment. My only request from the board is that if the road is voted to be unfavorable for whatever reason, I just want to know specifically what is left to be done on the road that has not been done as to why it would be unfavorable.
Anybody else from the public? Could I request the planning board just to give a brief summary of your latest discussion and recommendation for Arrowhead Way?
The select board apparently had some concerns about several things. We have addressed all of those, and I believe you have, I'm assuming it's in your packet, letters from the planning board addressing some 5, 6, 7 different items regarding all of these subdivisions. We have continued to make our favorable recommendations for acceptance.
Are there any questions from the board or the planning board or Mr. Blair?
Everything seems to be in order here.
I do have one question for, is Bear Hill Till an open space subdivision? Okay, so the memo here that states that the trees have to be on the properties or in open space or a combination of both, how will that happen if the owners don't want them and there's no open space?
I can answer that. It's not an open space subdivision, but there is open space that exists on the subdivision.
Okay,
So we talked about that at the planning board meeting.
okay,
There's a spot that goes down the hill, and that's all open space. And that's where we're gonna put the trees if the people don't want them.
okay. And how are we going to verify that that's been done?
When our engineer at the end of, by May 31st, he'll be going through and verifying. That was a date, if I'm not mistaken, I think we put on there, that all trees are planted. We decided not to go with any financial, so the number of trees that are in the conditions are what's gonna be planted, and Kevin will verify that on all 3 roads. And give us a report, and that report, of course, will become public, and if you wanna be copied on that, we have no problem passing that on to you.
And just asking the questions, what if those conditions are not met by the date provided?
I can answer that. They have a bond with money tied to the trees, that the money would get taken at that point, or they have, I don't know how it works, but there's money posted so that it makes sure it happens.
And planning board's comfortable with that?
Yes.
Any other questions from the board?
I think Arrowhead is the final phase for Bear Hill 2, is that correct?
It's all of Bear Hill too.
Yeah, that
Yes.
finishes it, correct? Like,
Bear Hill, yes.
yes,
Yes.
yeah, okay. Thank you.
This is Harry through the chair.
Go ahead, Harry.
Is there any other issues? I looked at the planning board meeting and I read the documents. I didn't see anything that was outstanding that needed to be done. Is that correct, through the planning board?
That is correct.
Norm answered you, Harry. He said that's correct.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else from the board? Is anybody else on Zoom for public comment? All right, if there's no other questions, I will entertain a motion to close the hearing for Arrowhead Way.
So moved. Oh. So moved.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, roll call. Alex?
No, aye.
Whitman, aye.
That's an aye.
Harry?
Second, aye.
Ledger, aye. All right, any further discussion from the board, or is there a motion?
I appreciate the developer and planning board kind of addressing our concerns. I think I had said before, my frustration at first time through was that we had this in front of us in April to recommend to the planning board, and it was right before town meeting and we still had outstanding questions. So I appreciate the work that everybody has done to get it here to this point tonight. So, thank you. I would be comfortable to make a motion if the board is amenable to that. I didn't know if anybody else had any comments.
Harry, did you have any comments? Any other discussion?
No, I didn't at this point, other than, the other 2 streets run off Arrowhead, correct?
No, this is separate. This is just a single.
Oh.
That's the other subdivision.
Okay, all right. No, I'm fine.
So then I would move, whereas the select board of the town of Rutland, acting pursuant to GL Chapter 82, Sections 21 through 24, have deemed that the common convenience and necessity require the acceptance of a portion of Arrowhead Circle as a town way, hereby lays out said portion of Arrowhead Circle as a public way, all is shown on the plan referenced below, and whereas the boundaries of the layout of the portion of Arrowhead Drive from STA 00+00 at the center line of Cleveland Circle to the existing public way portion of Arrowhead Drive at Station 14 plus 85.00 are shown on a plan entitled Definitive Plan Bear Hill 2, Rutland, Massachusetts, dated October 17th, 2006, prepared by James B. Collick, RLS and PE, and recorded with the Worcester South District Registry of Deeds in Plan Book 910, page 65, which plan was referred to the planning board and which plan is hereby adopted as part of this order, and all land lying within the aforesaid portion of Arrowhead Circle is hereby laid out as a public way. The aforementioned plan is hereby forwarded to the town clerk for filing, and the foregoing layout is hereby reported to the town for acceptance.
Second.
Motion and a second, any last discussion? All right, roll call. Alex?
Vote aye.
Wait a minute.
Mattson, aye.
Harry?
Second, aye.
Ledger, aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will move into open the public hearing for Woodside Ave at 6:17. Is there anybody here that would like to speak regarding Woodside Avenue?
I'd just like to say, if I could, the same thing would apply here. If you guys have questions, please ask them before you close the hearing. That's all I ask.
And I request you take them.
Yeah,
You request a favorable.
and I request a favorable vote, yes, please.
I do have a question if I may. I think that this is the, and this probably covers both Woodside and Pioneer, so I'm sorry, I'll
Okay.
ask the same question probably for Pioneer, but, this is a phased development, so this I believe is phase 3,
Yes.
roads. And I believe that one of the select board's questions was the berms, right? The curbing around the, drainage intakes and
The granite curb
yeah,
inlets, yes.
versus the Cape Cod berms. And so I understand for this phase, it's the Cape Cod berms. Sorry, planning board, did you decide to amend all going forward, that all subsequent, or the phase 4 and 5 would also be Cape Cod, or are they going back to granite?
I can answer
I
that.
think we were pushing to go back to granite entirely.
Future phases will be, George Curtsey.
I thought we were gonna discuss, 4
Future
and 5, in a future meeting, but right now we were just concerned with phase 3.
Yeah.
That's, my understanding is let me just say, my understanding, Chair and the board, is that that was a discussion that we were gonna have in a future meeting. Right now, we were just concerned with getting through phase 3.
Is that, if I may,
It's
is-
consistent with that. We believe this is, phase 3 has been waived to the Cape Cod berms.
Oh.
Future phases will be the granite ones unless
Yeah.
we work that out with DPW and planning board in advance.
and just please follow the subdivision rules and regs with going through planning board before
Yep.
taking DPW's word, please, and thank
Aye,
you.
What, Tim, I think you may have forgotten this, but you told me you want us to use the 3-piece granite.
Correct.
Yeah,
Because
so that,
Chris-
so that it
Chris-
doesn't take the top off the granite when they plow it.
Chris is adamant when and I apologize, I'm speaking for him, he's not here. The one piece was something that he didn't want anything to do with, but he would be acceptable of a 3-piece storm inlet. So that's what we were gonna request, to be specific for 4 and 5.
Thank you.
Unless he decides he wants, and then if he decides that's what he wants, the developer will come to us and ask for a minor modification or a field change, and then we'll consider it at that time.
This isn't specific to this, but if I may just make the statement that I think for me personally, as a resident, and not that I'm a homeowner in any of those subdivisions, but as a potential, that having the consistency of what is presented in the plans and then followed through speaks volumes just for the continuity of the subdivision. And so that's just whatever the decision is the continuity piece for, so I think planning board have those in your subdivision rules and regs and work it out with the developers at the time and then hold to it, would just be my and not at the whim of staff, whether it's DPW or public safety or whatever. Hopefully those decisions at the planning board level are made with consultation of staff ahead of time, but staff can change and everything, so.
That's, when this was approved, that was 3 DPW chiefs ago.
That's correct.
So, we'll,
Each one of them wants something different.
Well, I think that's, I mean, in fairness to you as a developer, I think just having that continuity of whatever the rules and regs say at the time is what you need to follow, and then if there's, it's, again, continuity especially for the phase developments, but then also,
See, we don't, you normally don't deal with the planning board with things like that. You always deal with DPW. So that's been the way we've done it for a long time. That's why it happened that way. But I agree with you. Continuity is the best.
thank you.
Through the chair, this is Harry.
Go ahead, Harry.
In the memos that I saw in the statements, there's been confusion for me as to we want to follow regulations, but the department, DPW, Chris had sent you a memo saying that he requested changing from the granite to the Cape Cod, but there was no description in there as to why that request was made. Do we have any information available to that? Because was it a maintenance issue? Was it a destruction equipment issue? Was it a plowing issue? Why did he request that change from the documentation that was required?
D, all the above.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry, it was because of the berms damaging equipment for plowing when it came through, when it was the single granite inlet versus the 3-piece or the Cape Cod berms, so that was why Chris had requested the Cape Cod style.
So this was kind of a one-off, so to speak?
Well-
In other words, this was the first time and probably only time he's going to request that?
Let me ask, if I could, I'll answer. Harry, so when you're plowing, when it has what's called bread loaf or A berm, the plow hits the berm and it goes, and it comes back, so it wrecks the berm. On a Cape Cod berm, the reason a lot of DPWs like that better is if the plow hits it, it rides up on top of it. But when it rides up on top of it and you have granite curb inlets, it rips the inlet, the granite, it wrecks it. It pulls it out, it smashes it, it tears it. So when you have a Cape Cod berm, you have to either put the granite in differently or build it, build the road with an A berm. So that's the reason why Chris wanted it that way, because number one, it wrecks the equipment when it hits it. Number two, it wrecks the inlet when the thing hits it. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, so I guess going forward, if Cape Cod berms are more efficient and more cost-effective for the town, is that something that I hear the planning board was going to be looking at in the future?
Yes.
Okay.
That's an option.
It's an option.
So that will be made part of the subdivision document originally, or whenever we decide to do this, so we don't have to come back and kind of request a waiver and all that stuff for these types of changes.
Yes.
Planning board wanna comment on that?
Okay.
We still have, two approved and unfinished subdivisions, so we're still going to have to, I guess I'll say, negotiate or decide how we're gonna handle those subdivisions. You have to remember, these subdivisions were approved many, many years back. And the subdivision regulations we have now don't even mention granite inlets. So, it's just kind of one of these things where, yeah, we're not at the end of this thing that we have to deal with.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm done, Chair.
My only comment / question is same thing, just with regards to the trees. We're talking about, we'll get a report from Quinn Engineering verifying that that's been completed by the date, and if not, we have the bond.
Yes.
And that is an open space.
That is an open space subdivision. Yes, thank you. Are there any other questions from the board? Is there anybody else from the public that would like to comment on Woodside Avenue? Name and address, please.
Chris Lyon, 16 Woodside Ave. This has been a real emotional topic for me and my neighbors. We all have young kids, not all of us, but most of my neighbors do. So ultimately, this is a safety issue for our children. And I hope this goes through. I hope the public votes it in. I'll be honest with you, I feel like the select board should have minimized our concerns, the way you shut down a few meetings and kind of was disrespectful to some of my neighbors. And that's all it is. We want our kids to be safe. When you're a parent, you think worst case scenario, someone can't get up the road. And we appreciate you guys. You donate your time, and you know, we just want this to go through for everybody, and hopefully we can put this to bed. So, thank you.
Is there anybody on Zoom that would like to comment for Woodside Avenue? Okay, if there's no further comment, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing for Woodside Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call, Alex?
All right.
Wait a minute.
That's a nice.
Harry?
Second, aye.
Is there any deliberation or discussion from the board?
My comments are gonna be the same, just about the timing of everything. Again, I think my frustration was that a lot of these were fairly, I mean, I don't wanna say easy to address, but could have been addressed over the spring, summer, and fall construction season, and we wouldn't have put the residents or anyone through this. So that's just I'm gonna say it for all three, because we're doing it as three separate. But you know, Cleve, that I had said that we would put it in April. It wouldn't make May, but I was hopeful that everything would be done so that we could have an honest push at the fall. And so that's just, you know, I'm just gonna say that.
So,
Any other discussion from the board?
I would make a motion then.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
Harry, all right, any other discussion from you?
No, there isn't. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And I would make a motion, whereas the Select Board of the Town of Rutland, acting pursuant to GL Chapter 82, Sections 21 through 24, have deemed that the common convenience and necessity require the acceptance of portions of Woodside Avenue as a town way, hereby lays out said portions of Woodside Avenue as a public way, all is shown on the plans referenced below, and whereas the boundaries of the layout of the portions of Woodside Avenue to be accepted as a public way are shown on a plan entitled Amended Definitive Plans, Bryce Lemon Estates, Rutland, Massachusetts, dated March 28th, 2014, revised through March 1st, 2021, prepared by New England Environmental Design, Inc., and recorded with the Worcester South District Registry of Deeds in Plan Book 956, page 55, for the portion of Woodside Avenue from its intersection with the northerly sideline of Main Street at STA 0 plus 8.58 to STA 7 plus 00, in a plan entitled Amended Definitive Plan, Bryce Lemon Estates, Rutland, Massachusetts, dated March 28th, I think this is supposed to be 2021? 2014. Okay, 2014. Prepared by New England Environmental Design, Inc., and recorded with said deeds in Plan Book 913, page 67, for the portion of Woodside Avenue from STA 7 plus 00 to STA 12 plus 50, which plans were referred to the planning board and which plans are hereby adopted as a part of this order, and all land lying within the aforesaid portions of Woodside Avenue are hereby laid out as a public way. The aforementioned plan is hereby forwarded to the town clerk for filing, and the foregoing layouts are hereby reported to the town for acceptance.
So motion, is there a second?
Second motion.
Is there any further discussion? All right, roll call, Alex?
That's a nice.
Second, aye.
Ledger, aye. All right, I will open the public hearing for Pioneer Circle at 6:31. Is there anybody that would like to speak regarding Pioneer Circle.
Same as before. Again, we're hoping for a favorable recommendation from the select board, and also, if there's questions, please ask them now, rather than after you close the hearing. Same spiel, sorry.
Please.
Emma Foster, One Pioneer Circle. I just want to reiterate what my neighbors have said, and just that, we're hoping that all of the boards in town can make sure that the communication is clear, so that it doesn't, obviously impact the residents as much as this particular situation has. So we're hoping just to see the processes going forward improve. I think we all want that at this point. So hopefully that this was a good learning experience for everybody, and how we're going to improve documentation so that this doesn't happen again, because, we've had to all put in a lot of time and effort to be here. So hopefully seeing that we get a favorable recommendation tonight would be appreciated. Thank you.
If I may, it's the same comments that I had for Woodside, just the questions about the berm. I just wanna make sure that it's documented that it carries over to Pioneer also. So pretty much my Woodside comments are for Pioneer also, and they've been addressed, so thank you. And thank you, planning board.
Anybody on Zoom for commenting on Pioneer Circle? Gary, was there anything that you wanted to bring up or questions you had?
No, I'm actually comfortable with this one. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other discussion from the board? Or questions from the board? Any other public comment on Pioneer Circle? All right, then I will entertain a motion to close the hearing for Pioneer Circle.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
You should get that station right.
All right, roll call, Alex?
Vote aye.
Matt's and I.
Gary?
Second, aye.
Ledger, aye. Is there any discussion from the board?
Just my same timing comment, otherwise, I'm good.
No discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I move whereas the select board of the town of Rutland, acting pursuant to GL chapter 82, sections 21 through 24, have deemed that common convenience and necessity require the acceptance of Pioneer Circle as a townway, hereby lays out Pioneer Circle as a public way. All is shown on the plan referenced below, and whereas the boundaries of the layout of the Pioneer Circle from STA 0+00 at its intersection with the center line of Woodside Avenue to its terminus in a cul-de-sac at STA 6+00 are shown on a plan entitled Amended Definitive Plan, Bryce Lemon Estates, Rutland, Massachusetts, dated March 28th, 2014, prepared by New England Environmental Design, Inc., and recorded with said deeds in Plan Book 913, page 67, which plan was referenced to the planning board and which plan is hereby adopted as a part of this order, and all land lying within the aforesaid Pioneer Circle is hereby laid out as a public way. The aforementioned plan is hereby forwarded to the town clerk for filing, and the foregoing layout is hereby reported to the town for acceptance.
Motion, is there a second?
Second motion.
Any discussion? All right, roll call, Alex?
Vote aye.
Matt's and I.
Second, aye.
Ledger, aye. Thank you.
May I ask a question? When I heard the stations for Woodside Avenue, it didn't sound correct. There's an issue with where it begins and where it ends. Could you just read them again, please?
Let's see, for the portion of Woodside Avenue from its intersection with the northerly sideline of Main Street at station 0+8.58 to station 7+00.
So I have,
That's not correct. I have 12.
station 12 plus 12 plus 50, I believe.
Well, then we have, and we have two, so maybe, and then it's, Jen, do you wanna?
Yeah, page 67, the portion of Woodside Avenue from station 7+00 to station 12+50.
There you go. That's all of it. It should be to 12 plus 15.
Jen,
Yeah.
may I show this to George and Clee just to make sure? Cause if it's not accurate, we'll just have to someone will have to make a friendly amendment on the floor, cause this is how it's posted. Is that accurate? This is what we got from town council based on the request that we received, so if we have to change it, just let me know.
This
is fine.
So hold on, Clay, let me just read it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, that's fine. So it starts at station 0 plus 8, goes to station 7, and then goes from station 7 to station 12 plus 5. So that,
It's the whole
yeah,
thing.
that's the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shown on 2 different plans.
The way this
Okay.
reads is,
Yeah.
it's two different sets of plans, it's one under one and one under a different amended.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for catching this.
Yes, thank you for question.
And thank you.
All right, hearings are all set, so we will move into public comment. Is there anybody for
Did they
public
vote to lay
comment?
Yeah, they went to,
Did they vote to lay that one out?
you voted to lay out Pioneer, correct? I'm sorry.
Yes, we did all
I'm
three,
sorry.
yes,
Thank you.
all three.
Yeah, I'll file them.
Thank you,
with the
folks.
tomorrow.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Okay.
Or happy holidays.
Yes, that's
Too.
what her Yeah, so she'll be,
We'll
yep,
done at 9.
yep, she's on here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, George, your tie's like a candy cane.
Merry
Okay.
Christmas.
Tie's like a candy cane.
Yes,
It's kinda, right? Thank you, right.
Very festive.
Yeah.
Get my Red Sox on too.
Look at you.
Wasn't planning on having to tell you the truth.
Will you email me and tell me who closed and everything?
Yes. Well, if you can read my scribbling, keep it, throw it away after you're done with it.
Thank you, sir.
You sure?
Tomorrow, you're gonna be at the meeting
The
tomorrow.
room cleared out, so there's nobody in-house.
Quite literally.
The map is gonna go back to Central Mass Visual Planning.
Took care of that one.
I'll explain why. I'll tell her why.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was gonna say
Thank you.
maybe give it
And
just a.
just a little last comment. I'm a little concerned with the bus company on 68 for future growth and everything else, and they've been blocking, trying to get traffic in and out, and they're parking cars in the breakdown lane. And there's a Zone A watershed on one side and wetlands on the other side, so they cannot expand. So I'll leave it up to you guys to start thinking about it, because it's gone through my head and I don't wanna think about it anymore. But, a place to, more buses and everything else, and an easier way of getting around. But I very seriously think that in the future, you get more kids, you're gonna have more buses, and that's not gonna be the place for it.
Are you talking about a bus turnaround?
No.
No,
Bus parking lot, the school bus
Parking
parking lot
lot.
on
the
68.
whole parking lot
Oh.
on 68,
Okay,
it's too crowded.
okay.
Too crowded. So just put that in the back of your mind and start thinking where to put it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there anybody on Zoom for public comment? Is there anybody on the floor for public comment? Looking at you.
This one's standing.
All right. In that case, we will move on to communications, member comments, announcements, and town administrator update. A couple of updates on my side. Just holiday hours for the town buildings are available on the website. There's a banner at the top for easy viewing. It's my understanding that at least the community center has different hours from what's there. Do we have those posted as well?
I know that they're open until 1 PM on Christmas Eve and New
Okay.
Year's Eve. Outside of that, I'm not sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
if we can just make sure if we can update and maybe post those and then.
Yep.
I think we did update social media with that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we did update that.
And then thank you again to everybody that donated for the Giving Tree at Town Hall. We were able to collect gifts for 60 children this year, which is a significant increase from the number that we had last year. So thank you again to the community for helping out all of these kids that are in need. I'd like to offer our congratulations to Deputy Director Liz DeFoss, Dispatcher Chris Wilder and dispatcher Lydia Gustafson for receiving a state 911 award in response to their efforts on 2 emergency calls. Dispatcher Wilder was awarded a Lifesaver Commendation for a recent CPR save, and dispatchers Wilder, Gustafson, and Deputy Director DeFoss were awarded commendations for their for an exemplary job done during 2 simultaneous fire calls that required mutual aid from 17 communities. So we congratulate them on those awards. Pre-registration for Rutland Summer Fun Camp is going to be open on January 3rd. I can't believe we're already talking about summer camp. But you can follow Rutland Rec on their Facebook page for any updates. And after the holidays, DPW will be accepting live trees for disposal during business hours on Saturday, January 3rd and Saturday, January 10th from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. And just be mindful for anybody stopping by that it is a working site, and just to be careful for anybody that's on site. Does anybody else have additional announcements, comments?
I want to wish everyone a happy holiday, and also I'm a little late, but I wanted to thank the Historical Society for the phenomenal work that they did for Festival of Trees, and all the participants of Festival of Trees. I personally have received so many compliments and accolades for the light display on Town Common, and how folks, I'm glad to see that it's still lit. A lot of folks were hoping that it would stay lit through the holidays, given that they have college kids coming home and everything. So thank you for all of that and kind of making Rutland's Festival of Trees the 4th of July of the winter. And so I know it's a lot of work, and there were a lot of volunteers and helpers. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you for that.
Jen, can I just add real quick? If anybody's interested, Ben Barakian, who's our assistant town clerk, has done an incredible job decorating the town clerk's office. He plans to keep it up past the holiday. It's kind of a continuation of what they had done at the library, and it's truly incredible. So if anybody wants to stop by and see it, and they should do so.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Harry, anything that you wanted to add for announcements or comments?
No, thank you for asking. I have nothing at this point. I wish I did, but being where I am, I don't have much.
Okay. Then I will turn it over to our acting TA for updates.
Okay, on Friday, the board received the FY27 budget outlook for this coming fiscal year. The budget summary was put together, kind of give you a high look at where we are in revenue and expenses. We had a general discussion with the Finance Committee on Thursday night as well, so they are up to speed on where we're at on that. We are finalizing the budget hearings with departments. We're just communicating with dates to make sure which board or committee or department can meet. So once we have that finalized, probably tomorrow, we'll get that schedule out for you very quickly. I did have an opportunity to meet with our incoming town administrator to get her up to speed on the budget and where we're at, and ideas of going forward, and she's coming up with some ideas of her own as well. Also last week, 4 other Wachusett communities, all the town administrators from the 5 towns met with the school superintendent down at his office last Tuesday. Main topic was we're discussing the renewal of the maintenance agreement for the schools for all 5 towns. We are looking at raising the threshold of the $35,000. That number is to be determined, but it is going to be raised. And some other minor modifications that they would like to make changes on that. What's really come out of this is we're able to get access to maintenance records of all of the buildings and what they've been repairing, what things are costing, so that's very helpful. They're tracking it very well, so that's good news for us to really see that there is a deterioration of equipment, or that they are doing their due diligence to keep up with that. So that's moving forward. Discussions turn into the school FY27 budget as well, and the impact that's going to have on all the 5 towns. They are moving into their budget workshops very quickly. They have asked, we'll be bringing that up shortly, to meet with the select board and member of the select board, member of the finance committee at their February meeting and they hope to have their budget finalized at their March 9th meeting. They requested that any invitation to a budget hearing here in town, that'd be after the March 9th. So they would have true numbers of what the assessments would be for the member towns. So we are working that into the schedule as well. As you know, we're finishing up the DPW union negotiations for the labor. We anticipate next Monday we should be able to finalize that. We got everything drafted in full Word versions of how it would be incorporated into the existing union document. So you can clearly see how the wording changed, everything, so it's easy to track. So we're moving forward on that. And a lot of good progress being made there, so it's good. We're bringing things into line with other union contracts, so that's good as well. The goal is to have it in front of you by the second meeting in January, because the 5th is the town meeting. So the following meeting we'll be able to have a conversation with that. I will accompany Heather during that discussion as well, to keep her up to date. The last thing, I would just like to extend my sincere thank you to the board for allowing me the opportunity to serve as the acting town administrator over the last several months. It's been one of my greatest honors to do this, and I think I honestly can say I thank you for you entrusting in me to do this during this time. As we work towards transition with Heather in a couple weeks, I think her and I have a good understanding and a good working relationship. She spent a lot of time over the last several weeks getting up to speed. I look forward to transitioning her the first week that she's here, and I'm committed to help her or continue any projects that I may have started to make sure that they come to completion so she can focus on other things. Like I told her, I'm not going away, I'm just in the next building over, so I look forward to doing that. And again, if the need ever arises again, I hopefully not have to do this again, but I'm always available, so thank you.
Thank you. And I can speak for myself, but on behalf of the board, we thank you as well for everything that you've done. And I think what we've been able to accomplish over the last couple of months has been quite a lot. So I appreciate all the effort that's gone into everything, being able to move things forward, some things that have kind of stagnated a little bit here and there. So I very much, I will let the board comment as well, but very much appreciate everything that you've put into this. And still being able to, work with Deputy Chief Quinn, but keeping things going over there as well. So I know it was not easy to be able to do both, so we appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you.
I do have one quick question on the school budget. It sounds like despite the requests for even a draft budget, we're not gonna see anything until that February meeting.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Anybody on the board have questions for Seth?
Thank you, Seth, for stepping in and filling the big shoes, so I appreciate it. And thank you for picking up some of the projects and moving them forward, and I think some of the big stuff, I really appreciate the wage matrix and kind of the job description stuff, because I know that's been something that a lot of iterations of the boards have been trying to push. And so I think having the communication that we're committed to the salary, but hours may need to be adjusted is hard, but it's a commitment that we need to make to our employees. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd say a job well done too, and you pitched in and you took literally the bull by the horns, and we managed to come through with flying colors.
Harry, did you have any questions or anything you wanted to add?
No, actually, I plan to see Seth before he leaves.
I look forward to it,
He's
Harry.
not going anywhere, so we still know where to find him. All right, then we can move into old business. First thing we have is the firefighter union side letter. Again, this is the letter that was drafted by Deputy Chief Quinn to bring back to the firefighters union regarding the paramedic education and training reimbursement. This has been reviewed and Was it signed by the union?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
you
so
guys
the
have the
last
original.
step is for us to approve and sign as well, and this would, like I said, be a side letter to go with the union contract. Are there any questions or discussion on this?
I move, are you ready for a motion?
Sure.
I move to approve and sign the side letter with the firefighters union local 4878 regarding tuition reimbursement for paramedic school as presented.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second emotion.
Any discussion?
Through the chair,
Sure, go ahead.
Seth, how many layoffs have we had of fire personnel, say, over the last 5 years?
Never.
Okay. Because one of the issues under D, section 31(4)D, is that there is no repayment obligation for a layoff. But I'm assuming if we lay somebody off, we're willing to hire them back again if the situation improves.
That is correct.
Okay. And if they get rehired, does this then eliminate their obligation for repayment should they decide to quit or whatever in the future?
No, it would not.
Okay.
Any other questions?
That was it.
Thanks, Harry. All right, we have a motion and a second. If there's no other questions, we'll do roll call. Alex?
Would I?
Matt's and I.
Second, I.
And Ledger, aye. Thank you again to Deputy Chief Quinn for initiating that and going through the motions to get this on the books. All right, we have license renewals that we need to do. These are the two outstanding that we had that were not part of the last round that we approved. This is for Man's RV and Coffeelands. Looks like everything is in place, everything's passed inspections. Everything else is in order? Okay. So if there's no questions, I will entertain a motion to approve the common victular license renewals for Coffeelands and the auto dealer license for Man's RV for 2026.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second, is there any discussion?
None.
All right, roll call. Alex?
Would I?
Matt's and I.
Second, I.
And Ledger, aye. Thank you. All right, moving into new business. We have a liquor license for approval. This is for Mito Restaurant. The ABCC has approved the liquor license for the restaurant. They've been open for about a week now. And everything has passed inspections, so this is the final step for their licenses, just for the board to approve. If there's no questions or discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor license for Mito Restaurant at 79 Main Street.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
I have one question. Sure. Because this is coming in now in December of 2025, do they need to reapply for 2026?
No, so we treated this as if it was gonna be a 2026 license, anticipating that it likely wasn't gonna get approved before the beginning of the year. So she paid the $2,000 fee upfront,
Okay.
and then the license will become effective. So technically, she'll get 7 days, but then it will carry over into 2026.
Okay, so once we sign this, they can start serving alcohol down there and it's good for the entire calendar year of 2020. I just wanted
Yes.
to make, because it was one question that I've heard, and so I wanted to make sure that for the public.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, Alex?
Would I?
Wait a minute.
Matt's and I.
Second, I.
Ledger, aye. All right, moving into Board of Public Works, we have a water and sewer abatement request. We have the application in front of us, as well as a memo from the DPW director. We'll open it up for discussion from the board.
So if I'm understanding correctly, it's one bill that is essentially double the second most highest,
Yes.
That's what it looks like, yep.
and then higher than consistently the average, I guess.
Yeah, the blue sticky, is that from the applicant that's
Yes.
requesting it? Okay.
Yep.
So it looks like that July one that you pointed out, Leah, is the extra high one, and then the October reading seems to be
Extremely low.
very low.
Was there a new meter installed? It looks like the install date was back in January of 2015. Am I reading that correctly?
Oh, the meter?
Yeah, so I don't think it's on the second page with the blue sticky on the left side. It says install date 1/15/2015.
I would assume that's correct.
And the memo from this is essentially that DPW water is of the mind that, given all the information that they have, they can't exclude the fact that the water went through.
Yeah, it could be any number of reasons that there was additional water flow.
Jen, if I may, the resident indicated when they stopped by the office that DPW had gone out to the property and didn't see any particular reason what caused going wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so
So-
they did go out.
They did go out, yes.
The resident didn't put any sort of reason or thoughts or, like, there's nothing.
No, in fact, he mentioned he had been out of town for quite a while, so he was even more so perplexed by the high bill. He didn't have any thoughts as to why. He did say DPW came out, they did the test in the tanks of the toilets to see if there was a water leak. They checked the meter, they did not identify anything specific that was wrong.
I think it's tough because I think it's one of those where, I think we all underestimate how much a running toilet uses water-wise, and if they were out of town for a while and it was running while they were out of town and then fixed once they came back, but not until fixed before DPW got out there, then it's not necessarily just a leaky toilet, it can be, it was running for a significant amount of time and there was a faucet not quite turned off or something.
I agree.
Through the chair,
Go ahead, Harry.
I'm looking at the usage, and up until 10/13, well, actually 4/8/24, it looked like it had jumped a little bit in April. But it seems then after that, the primary big usages were in the summer months. So I don't know how I can account for, unless there's an extended information available why that usage would occur in the summer months. I do not know. So I don't know if I could adequately evaluate why that happened in the summer months, because everything else up until that point was good. So I don't know what changed, what got added, what got used, because there's no explanation here for it.
Yeah, Harry, I agree with you, and I think that's my thought as well. It's just a statement that it's significantly higher than the other readings, even around the similar time of year. However, there's no documentation to state where it came from or why they should have it abated.
Exactly.
I mean, it's unlikely, but it's extremely possible that they watered their yard more this time than they ever have. I don't know. I mean,
That's
without,
what I'm saying. We don't know if they
Don't
have
know.
a sprinkler system or, sorry.
Yeah, Harry, and to your point, like looking at the dates, right, the the 2014 date of the July was about half of what the same time frame is for this year. So it seems like may have been watering or something going on over the summer months, and
Right.
And then we have Director Kolofsky's memo just stating that it could be any number of issues and that it's their position that the water flowed through the meter.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so my opinion is that there's not enough evidence for us to abate the charge.
I unfortunately agree. I think we need to be really mindful and from precedent setting and everything of what we abate, and unfortunately, I realize it's a tough timeframe, but
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. Had that kind of a jump happened in the winter months, that would be one thing, but it happened in the summer.
Any thoughts, Paul?
I'm thinking my own situation and, have to use a little bit more outdoors in the summertime than any other time of the year, but the volume, I would like to know, what they were doing in the summer, but that's none of my business either, but, I know my water usage goes up for the summer, goes back down for the winter. And so we just keep on dealing with the situations as they arise, and so, obviously some of the numbers there are pretty well, not pretty surprising to me anyway, so.
Quick question through the chair.
Sure.
Do we know if this is a single-family home?
Yes, it is.
yes, it is.
Okay,
An owner occupied, sorry to piggyback on you, Harry, thank you.
okay.
All right, it sounds like the board's in agreement, so if there's no further questions or discussion, I will entertain a motion to deny the water sewer abatement request as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Roll call, Alex?
Would I?
Matt's done.
Second, I.
Ledger, I. Okay, moving into, we have an annual report. Tamika has drafted up a report for us as the local licensing authority to submit to the ABCC. Just as our annual report submission, annual basis, so, is there anything you wanted to add specifically, Tamika?
No, I don't think so. It's just something that we have to, we're required to do on an annual basis. Our quota will not change until we reach 10,000 residents, at which time they'll reevaluate and change our quota. But right now, we have a couple of spots open for on-premise all liquor. We do not have anything available still for off-premise all liquor.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it 10,000 based on the US Census or 10,000 based on the town census? Do you know?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I can find out. I'm not sure which one they go based off of, but I'll find out.
Cause if it's the US, I assume it would be 2030, and I assume by then we would hit 10,000. But if it's the town census, then, and I think it might be the US, but I don't know for sure. So just maybe check, cause the town census might be this year or next year. I know we're close, so.
Sure.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And we're not sorry if I may, we're not increasing the fee schedule. These are the fees that we had set last spring. And
Correct.
we're continuing those. It still feels like it's a good, safe amount for the amount of work and not too cumbersome for the businesses and everything also.
Yes, I will say we did get a little bit of pushback at renewal time. Some folks were surprised that the fees had increased, but I simply explained to them that we kind of brought them in line with what other communities are charging, as well as the cost of taking care of them, and everybody was understanding and had no problem paying it.
Thank you.
Alright. If there's no other questions, Harry, any questions for you on this?
I just have a quick question. On the package store, all alcohol, how many in town do we have that are under that category?
One,
I see on-premise and off-premise, but I'm curious as to how many are all alcohol. Is it just those 8? All alcohol on-premise and off-premise?
I believe if I may,
Yeah.
I believe the all alcohol is, from, like, package store wise is 2. If you look at the top, licensees granted, there's the number that are granted, and that's 2, and for all alcohol beverages off premise, and I believe Tamika said that quota is filled. And I believe it's the liquor store at Blair Market and the liquor store over at Four Corners are the 2 that are all alcohol off premise or package stores.
Okay. Okay, I was just adding up the total amount we collected in 25 was 6190, and I'm thinking how many package stores do we have at $2,000? Because that would come to roughly 4,000, so that's a big chunk of the money. Okay.
But I think that these fees were collected before the fee increase.
correct.
Cause we set the fee increase in March and these fees would have been collected December of '24.
Okay.
It would have been 1,000 each for those.
Yeah, and they have not done the cash yet for December. And most of the fees for this year, for the upcoming year for 26 came in November and December. So this is reflective of what we collected last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can expect a higher number for.
Yes, you can. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, if there's no other questions or discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve and sign the 2025 annual report for submission to the ABCC.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, is there any further discussion?
Just if I may, I know I don't think we have to submit it to the state, but if we can maybe have somewhere, whether it's on a planning board website or something, economic development or something, the number of licenses that are that the town has and then what's filled and what's available. Just I've had a few residents reach out asking if there's opportunities for all alcoholic beverages on premise or it has to be beer and wine, which we accepted that local option to be able to for those businesses to convert to
Yes.
but just if we can have that and that way.
Yeah, I'll add it to the licensing page and I'll just put like a little chart on there that says what we have available as of this particular date.
Yeah, and maybe even what the total number is that the community allows, because I've had that also, like, why don't we have any more on premise, and it's because we're only allowed off premise for all alcohol, and it's because we're only, based on our population, we only have 2.
So you'd like it to show how many we have issued versus how many there are available?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, yeah. Does that make sense?
It does make sense,
Is the board comfortable with that?
Yep.
Like I said, it's just based on conversation with some of the economic development pieces that have been going on and as people are brainstorming ideas and everything.
Sure,
Thank you.
no problem.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, did we roll call that?
Nope.
Okay, roll call, Alex
Modak?
Matt's
Second, I.
and Ledger I. Alright, and moving into our last item, we had the email that was forwarded from Wachusett that is requesting a member of the select board as well as one from the finance committee to attend their budget meeting, which is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Let's see.
If I may, Jen.
Sure, go ahead.
Historically, these have been default to the chair and the chairs of both committees, and then if the chairs can't make it, then it goes before. I think, and I don't want to speak for this district, but I think the district is trying to provide opportunities to let towns figure out how they do it. In the past, though, it had just been the chairs were the ones that went, and it was an open meeting in the sense that other board members could go. But kind of the ones sitting at the table and participating in the discussion were the chairs or the designees.
Did FinCom discuss this at their meeting? Who did they have that will be attending?
They went with Darren, not specifically because he's the chair, but because nobody else volunteered. So he got it by default.
Okay. I mean, I would like to open it up to the board for discussion. I don't feel the need as chair to go. If there's another member that would like to be able to represent and participate in the discussions, again, it sounds like it's going to be an open meeting. If other board members would like to go and sit and observe, that's fine, but I'm certainly open to the discussion of anybody that is interested in attending.
I generally watch it on cable. Okay, so, you know, I pretty much followed along what's going on there, so if a crisis or emergency arises or somebody, just let me know.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Harry.
Regardless of who we choose to go, I would like to see the board come to a consensus for what information we would hope that the person we send can bring back to the board. A consensus of questions or information we're looking for from them. That the board develop a set that we can send that person with.
Yeah, I'm agreeable to that, Harry. We can certainly discuss that at a upcoming meeting, just kind of the plan of what we feel is important to convey to the committee during this meeting and the questions that we would like to have answered. I'm agreeable to that for sure. I think that's a good idea for us to ensure that, you know, we have a
Unified message.
unified message. Thank you.
Would you like me to put that on a February agenda as
Yes.
a discussion topic?
Yeah, because it'll be February 24th, so we want to make sure. So I guess I'll open it up. Is there anybody that feels strongly about being the person to participate?
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
I know everybody's pretty busy, and I guess I would feel that being involved in the school more, Alex might be the person to go, but I don't want to throw Alex under the bus either. So if push comes to shove, I certainly would be willing to show up at that meeting because I'm planning on going anyways. Alex, any comment?
Well, one, I don't know how I'm involved in the school, but I'm fine with attending if that's what everyone would like. I was probably planning to go as well, but I'm not sure that I can or should commit to it. But I probably will be going as well.
Leah, you've been representing us in that department for a while. What's your take?
I mean, I'll probably attend the meeting, but I feel like it's, I've, as chair the past 2 years, I've sat at the table the past 2 years, so I think it's, you know, it's more of a, pretty much in my past experience, not just at the past 2 meetings, but previous to that also, it's a lot of the member towns saying we can't afford what it is, and this is where we are, and it's so late in the process that it's not really a lot of back and forth dialogue or anything, so and I think now with the administration meeting with the town administrators and town managers, they have a better sense as to what's going on in the 5 communities than previously. So like I said, I'll most likely be there. I try to attend as many of the meetings as I can, but I don't feel like I need to be at the table. I can be, but it's not my, you know.
Well, I guess then if everybody, I mean, I'll be willing to sit at the table. From what you say, Leah, it's not like we're gonna have a lot to say. But at least if we're there, the board is there, at least we'll hear a lot of information. So if the board would like me to show up at sit in the chair at the meeting, I would be more than happy to do that.
Okay. What are the chances of going back to them asking for an earlier date? Like to Leah's point, I mean, Is there, it's so late in the game, is it really negotiations or is it just, here's what's coming at you in 2 weeks?
Right.
Well, I mean, to be honest, didn't we just say that they're not gonna, they basically said no to getting the budget earlier?
Right,
So,
but
I
that doesn't mean they don't have it, they're just not willing to share a draft per se with us. They have to have something.
Well, I mean, so the state has certified the student population number, so we know what our shift is as far as our percentage of students of 5 towns. So we've lost students, but we haven't lost as many as the other towns. So our proportion of the 5 towns has gotten larger, so obviously that impacts. Second is they won't know what the governor's proposed budget is gonna be until the MMA conference the Friday before. So that's the second week in January. They're starting to have their budget, what they call them, retreats with every principal from every school. That takes some time, so they're starting to gather, they're just gathering their information now from all the different principals from all the schools. So I don't see they're trying to keep within their schedule of their school committee meeting schedule. So that's why it's the date it is. And they're trying to do everything that night, is they're going to have their budget hearing that night. And then, once that's closed, then open it up to the member towns for discussion to try to consolidate down into one night instead of 2 separate nights.
Yeah.
So what they take from that will be brought into their meeting in March to determine if they're going to listen to what the concerns of the member towns or they're just moving forward. So Dr. Riley did say that they anticipate using more E&D funding this year to offset increases as well as circuit breaker money to make that available to try to lessen the impact as well. But again, those are potentially one-time,
Right.
Which could hurt us the following year too. So we gotta be, we've gotta be realistic on that as well too, so.
I mean, I just wanna, if I may, Jen, I just wanna say, I think that this administration, school administration has been much more accommodating and in tune with all 5 member towns in the finances than previous. It's still a tough, there's fewer and fewer public state dollars towards education and there's fewer and fewer state dollars towards municipal government, so it's the municipalities that are really feeling the crunch. And so there's been all the Chapter 70 conversations, the online opportunity is still open through the end of this year to provide feedback for that. So it seems like at the legislature level, they're trying to work something into Chapter 70. But that's not gonna be a fix this year. So I think it's been the past couple years, it hasn't been new information to the administration because the administration's been meeting with the town managers and administrators. So they've known that how dire everybody has been. I do think in some ways it's beneficial just to hear from the other 5 towns. There was some conversation last year as to if 3 or 4 towns are looking towards an override, does it make sense to have more consultation with the district to ensure that the district is getting something also, so it's not viewed as a municipal override, quote unquote, the school takes, or that there's going to be about 60% of everyone's budget that's on the low end anymore from municipalities. So I just wanna say, I think it's been better the past few years in the communication, but it's still not better in the outcome.
Right.
I think the school will have a general idea of which way they're gonna go pending how Holden's override in February goes. So I think that will be a driver to see if,
For a lot of the conversation.
yeah.
Okay. Alright, so it's Harry's willing to volunteer, and then Leah, it sounds like you were and Alex were at least planning to go, so is it worthwhile just in the event that something happens, we need a backup, should we designate somebody as well, or just?
I mean, I would, if my person would be if Harry wants to do it, then say Harry, and then Harry, if something changes or whatever as it gets closer, even night of, just send communication and one of us that's there can kind of
Step in.
step in.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, is the board comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, in that case, I will entertain a motion to designate Harry Seckman to represent the select board at the FY '27 budget meeting with the Wachusett Regional School District on February 24th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, roll call. Alex?
Vote aye.
Whitman, I.
Matt's and I.
Second, I.
And Ledger, aye. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Harry.
All right, future agenda requests. We have a couple slew of things. We're working on some RDIC documents that we'll be bringing forward for early February, and we'll reconvene with them. We'll put on the school budget, unified message. We'll have like a memo that we can have available for that meeting, something like that. So we'll put that on a February. Is there anything any of the board members would like? The other thing, I'm waiting for Heather to come in, but I'd like to work with her to address some of the financial policy updates that we've been talking about. We had a couple of questions at special town meeting about, how much should we have in our stabilization funds before we stop putting in the 5%. So just trying to identify some of those numbers that we could maybe update with, and then also try and move forward the school stabilization fund as well, to get that in the financial policies. So we'll work with Heather to get that, some information on that and bring that back to the board.
Yeah, I recall one of the answers for the stabilization, or it wasn't the stabilization, it was the retirement, one of the
Yeah, one
retirement
of the
funds.
OPEB funds.
OPEB.
We need to be really careful on
Yeah.
who answers questions, because whoever answered that question, I don't remember who it was now, answered it very wrong.
Yeah, I think it made it seem like there was more than enough money in there, and
Yeah.
that's not quite how it.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
question on the number of employees in the departments where they're for, but that's not what that money's there. That money is there for
Right.
past employees.
Yeah.
And that answer didn't get answered at all.
So we'll take a look at that and we'll bring that back for the board and hopefully get those updated. Anything else that anybody?
I think, if I may, I think after our January meeting with FinCom, our joint meeting with FinCom, I think we as a board really need to start the public education piece on the financial situation of the town.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw Seth's memo and that's
yep.
not good.
Yep.
So whatever that, and I think we as a board need to be unified with the information that we're providing. What we do at the ballot box on our own is up to us, but I think we as a board need to be very unified as to providing the information in a factual manner to let the residents decide what is most important to them.
Yeah, and I think Seth had put some options for next steps, how to move forward in that memo, so that's obviously gonna be a topic for discussion on, we can talk through when to start having those discussions versus, we had the budget hearing for the more in-depth details and the questions for the department heads. But we'll make sure we get those on an agenda so that we have the public outreach as well.
Mhm.
Okay. Harry, anything for you for future agendas?
Not at this point.
Okay.
I am good, thank you.
All right, then upcoming meetings, we have January 5th, which is just a reminder, brief regular meeting at 6 p.m., which we will do at NAQUAG. And that will take place prior to the special town meeting, which is going to start at 6:30. So again, that's all at NAQUAG, not here at the library. January 8th is a posted meeting. That's a Thursday, when we're gonna be hopefully meeting with FinCom to go through some of those FY '27 budget numbers and information. So again, we've posted it. Whoever is able to attend, if we have a quorum, we'll have the agenda posted. Up to you. January 20th is a regular meeting, but that's Tuesday following the Martin Luther King holiday, so just be aware of that day change. And then January 21st is our first budget hearing, departmental budget hearing.
If I may, I don't know if it makes sense at the January 8th meeting, since we're already gonna be joint with FinCom, to have and I don't know how much time we're gonna have, but have a brief discussion as to the unified message to send to the school districts, just because that way, if both FinCom and Select Board are at the table, it's the same information.
That's a good idea.
Or pieces of the same.
Yeah, agreed.
And I assume we'll have additional joint meetings with them through the budget process, but I don't know so I'll let you decide if it makes sense to do it at that meeting or.
No, I
a
think it's
subsequent one.
good to start that, and at least, even if we don't finalize anything at that meeting, just to have that discussion so we can see what we're looking. Is there anything else to come before the board this evening?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, roll call, Alex,
Oh, aye.
That's okay.
Second, aye.
and Ledger, aye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, good night, and everybody have a wonderful holiday.
Good
Happy
holidays.
holidays, feel
You
better.
too.